Get your first deal by doing this. It's Rick in here with Flip with Rick, and today I'm going to show you the exact strategy I would use today to get my first wholesale deal in real estate. But before I get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best wholesaling information from myself and Zach. What are you going to do to get your first wholesale deal today? I'm going to walk you through step by step. The first technique that has always worked 20 years plus in the business, and I still use today, is a technique we call driving for dollars. And guys, this is simple. And the key to getting your first deal is keep it as simple as you possibly can. Driving for dollars is just the art of going out into local neighborhoods, areas you're familiar with, and look for properties that just don't seem right. What do I mean? The grass has grown really high. The roof has got a blue tarp on it. The house is always vacant. Maybe the mail's piled up at the front door, like phone books and all other sorts of stuff. Or one of my favorites, when the mail receptacle's knocked over, laying on the ground, and no one's done anything about it. These types of houses are the ones you are looking for. By using the driving for dollars strategy, it allows you to find these properties and bypass buying lists of 5 and 10,000 prospects and cutting straight to the chase to find the properties that are the problem. When I buy a list for like 10,000 people, I either have to mail to them or cold call them or door knock all 10,000, and it takes a lot of time and money to do that. By doing driving for dollars, you fast track to get to those same deals that I'm paying for. And guys, if you're on a sweat equity budget and you're trying to get your first deal with little to no money, driving for dollars to this date right now works phenomenally. And if you're not implementing it, you should really use this strategy to get your first deal in your belt. This is the technique I would use right now if I had to start all over. I would hop in my car. I'd go collect 200 addresses. I wouldn't stop till I got it. I would take that list. I would simply skip trace it, and I just start cold calling them. And guys, don't worry. I'm going to go through in this video the exact words to tell them when you're cold calling them. The next technique I would use, which is very close second, is getting my pre-foreclosures. Pre-foreclosures are really simple. You can just go down to your courthouse or find the leads online and find properties where basically the people have not been making regular mortgage payments, and they have a notice from the bank in the court system that if they don't rectify the problem, they're going to wind up getting foreclosed on. Once you have the addresses, and here's the really cool part, you only need the addresses, you'll have the homeowner's individual name as well, is you can now get a list. And what I would do is lay out a route and I would drive it. Yes, we're going to go door knock these people, but we're going to use a little bit different technique that works very effective. You see, when I started out wholesaling, I would actually get the pre-foreclosures and I would go knock on every door. And I quickly found out that the percentage of people that actually answer their door is actually quite low. To be more effective and more efficient with your time, the strategy we use is called reverse driving for dollars. And it simply is you're taking that same list, instead of knocking on every door and waiting for a response and tying up a whole bunch of your time, you're just going to pre-write a sticky note, and it's simply going to say, listen, I have a question about your house, and put your name and phone number. 90% of the people are going to call you back. Now, occasionally while you're putting the note on the door, the homeowner might come out and go, hey, what are you doing? This is great because obviously this is what we really want. And that's a time you can connect with them, but understanding it'll be less than 20 to 30% of the people that actually come to their door. We got Ring doorbells. We got video cameras. Nobody answers their front door anymore. So by using the reverse driving for dollars method, it works really well. So on your note, simply say, hey, I got a quick question for you, or can you call me? I want to ask you something, and make it a simple one-line response with a phone number. And you can pre-print the stickies and then stick them to each door. So if you had 100 addresses to do it, could you imagine if you had to knock on every door knowing 70 to 75% of it's going to fail? The reverse driving for dollars method works really well because it enables you to go to all 100 doors and let the calls come into you. And guys, it's really simple. From that point on, you're going to ask them the 4 qualifying questions to find out if they're truly motivated enough to sell to you. My third technique, which is one of my favorite techniques, is getting a fresh list of probates from your local courthouse. Guys, it's really simple. All you have to do is go to your courthouse, go to the probates department, and try to get the most recent activity of probate list. And from there, you might have to reverse engineer to find out who the property owner is or even the address. But once you have that list, these are people that have passed away and they've left somebody in charge of taking care of their financial affairs. Now, a good part of these these houses need to be sold. Why I like them? They're vacant. They're usually way run down, meaning they need a lot of maintenance. And number three is people truly want to get rid of these properties because they're costing them money and they rather have the cash than the property. You have that list. You're basically now going to take that list and skip trace it and get the phone numbers. Why? Because calling on probates, we have a technique called warm calls. I know we usually use cold call, but warm call just means the probate, you're going to take more time. You're going to take the energy to take care of it. If you guys want to learn more about this technique, go to freewholesaling.com. I teach the whole thing. What we do is we call them and we just basically ask if they have any interest in selling their property. And it's that simple. I love probates because they're vacant, they need repairs, and people usually want to sell them quickly. And to be honest with you, they typically have the highest profit margin in all of wholesaling. You want to make sure you can at least work probates into it. So while we're on the method of cold calling, the other technique is just finding what we call niche lists. And niche lists are simply lists that you got to go out and hunt for, meaning they're not readily available. Some of my favorite ones are water shutoffs, which you get from your utility departments. It's not a guarantee they'll give it to you, but you should at least reach out and find out. Fire damage properties, you can get them local from your local fire department. Code violations, which is going to be from your city. And the last one is tax delinquency, which is going to be at a county or a city level. These are people that haven't paid their taxes. After a certain amount of time, they actually issue a tax certificate, which basically people go out and bid to fund the property taxes. And eventually, if that bill doesn't get paid, the property winds up in foreclosure. Typically, when people aren't paying these bills, they have other issues going on in their life, and they typically need the help of you, the wholesaler, to get their house sold. We've talked about probates on warm calling, not so much cold calling. We talked about cold calling on niche lists, water shutoffs, fire damage, code violation, and then also taking your driving for dollars and skip tracing those, and then you have those lists to call. So, Rick, how do I cold call these people? You don't need a 10, 14-day, or 3-month course to do this. I'm going to give it to you right now. You're simply going to ask these 2 questions. Are you the owner of the property? And if so, are you interested in selling? Guys, it's that simple. Just cut through the red tape. This isn't a time to make extreme small talk. You just have to qualify them, because if they're not the owner and they're not interested in selling, there's no point in wasting any more time with it. Remember, keep it simple. To get your first deal, you have to have simple steps to move through the progression to get your first deal. And the simpler you make it, the easier this process is. Another technique, which is often overlooked, which I started out doing, and I still see lots of wholesalers instituting it today, is what we call bandit sign marketing. And my first recommendation is look around in your area and see if you see any existing bandit signs. You want to see existing bandit signs. It means that the city's not cracking down toward, or you can actually go out and put them out in your area. Please check with your local laws. Some cities are more open to it than others. Now, if you get the sign, just get an 18 by 24 bandit sign in white. Now, you can find them, I believe, at like Home Depot, or you can order them online in a case of like 50 or 100. And then go get a big black Sharpie marker at a Home Depot or a Lowe's. It's a couple bucks. And then you're going to pre-write. You're only going to use 3 lines on it on one side. And guys, I've done this. I've done hundreds of thousands of these signs. I'm telling you, only do one side, because these signs are extremely transparent. And if you print on both sides, it bleeds through the other side and nobody can read it. And you're simply going to put on there, we buy houses, any condition, any price, and a phone number. And you want to make sure it goes to a virtual phone number, not your cell phone, because that's going to get you in trouble. You guys can go online, get your own portable phone number, and it'll forward to your cell phone. And when you see it pop up, you're going to label it bandit sign, and you are going to have a conversation with them, a call, and just say, listen, do you have a property you're interested in selling? Tell me a little bit more about it. And that's it. Just taking the information, and then you'll go through the 4 qualifying questions with them: motivation, condition, timeline, and price. And it's really that simple. And the key with these signs, guys, is do a test market. Go out and put out 20 or 25. Don't put out all 100. And you want to put them amongst high traffic area. Home Depots, Lowe's, Walmart, the absolute favorite one. And you want to put them where people go in and out, called egress, ingress. And you should get some traffic on those. If you can get those signs to stick, you have an amazing lead source. It's often overlooked, but I'm telling you, it still works today in this market. Guys, if you want to get great wholesaling deals, use these tips. Now, my last tip, that was very valuable when I got started, is what we call a simple network networking tip. And what you want to do, especially if you're just starting out, you want to network with as many people associated with wholesaling. Now, keep in mind, not everyone you talk to is going to have out your best interest. So the best place to start, if you're new to this, is just go to your local RIA. You don't have to join it. It's 10, maybe $20. Usually they have a first-time free pass to enter into these things. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. They're probably going to try to sell you everything in the world. Keep your money in your pocketbook and go through the meeting. Be respectful. Learn. Hopefully they got a good speaker there. And then before the meeting and right after is the best time to network. You're looking for people that are finding deals. You're looking for hard money people. You're looking for soft money people. Realtors, guys. Realtors that show up to RIA events, which RIA stands for Real Estate Investors Association. That means they are usually investor-friendly realtors, and that's someone that's great to network, either working on deals or helping you get comps, whatever you need. Guys, the room is a plethora of people that love wholesaling. Find the people that you want to work with that can help you out. Maybe you can partner up on a deal. Maybe they can bring you a deal. Maybe someone can help you fund a deal if you want to do that. Guys, the sky's the limit. Networking is the key to this business. And so if you're brand new, instead of just trying to figure out everything on the internet, obviously use the internet, which networking's unlimited. I don't have to go into details on that, but like get out and go to your local RIA if you have one and go hang out and just see what it's all about and try to find people of like-minded interest. And it's a great way. You might not get a deal right there, but in a few months, that networking will pay off because those relationships have a value and that value will turn into deals for you. Guys, these are the exact techniques I use today and I want you to use today to go out and get your first wholesale deal. Wholesaling is actually very simple. I just find most wholesalers overcomplicate this business. I want you to take these strategies I've taught you today and go out and use them in your market. And guys, I know they sound simple, but I've been doing this 20 years. They work. And that's why they're simple. And that's why you want to go out and utilize them. So let me know in the comments, are you guys utilizing these types of strategies to get your first deal? Or which one are you going to go out and put to work for you today to get your first wholesaling deal so you can get hooked on this and get you financially and physically free from the rat race? Guys, it's Rick again with Flip with Rick, and I'll see you in the next video.